So I want to jump in here because, again, like that bullpen outing was pretty monumental because there was something that a lot of us caught our eye, and it's never really happened before. And that was like when the two seam came out. And it was like, whoa, wait a second, right? Because that was the one thing too. Like you saw him pumping 100 in the offseason. And I know we talked a little bit about it too. It's like, I mean, that's nice. Like you don't want to not see that stuff, but that wasn't necessarily like Keller's problem either, right? You know, like I wasn't sure if that was really going to save the day. So we see the two seamer come out, and it's like, oh, hold up. What's going on here? You know, now we're seeing like an actual fundamental change. And the next outing came out, the two seam, and then he had his next actual start after that. And it was like, oh boy, I'm back on Mitch Keller train. What's happening here? So I guess there's been a lot of talk and dialogue on like how this two seam became about. Who is the one that, you know, got in his ear with it? Was it, hey, go talk to Clay Holmes, and Clay Holmes like, hey, try this grip, and he's the one that did it? Was it Marine, who also had talks? Was it Hayes? Like, where did the two seam come from initially, and why was it thrown in that outing?
I think you'll still get like a different story from everybody, but the one I was told was that essentially both sides kind of agreed at the same time, and also like the whole fan base agreed, right? Like the experience of watching Mitch Keller until a year ago was excruciating. Watching a guy whose body language was kind of like looked like he was a little bit owned out there, right? Like he just didn't look like he had the confidence that he knew he was better than the hitter. And it was a guy whose fastball looked like flat as a pancake, 94, and just flat. Like we don't know anything, you and me, but like we know that's a flat fastball. Like hitters seem to be just absolutely like teeing off on it. They have no problem. They're not beating anybody with that fastball. And then a curveball that was pretty good, but guys mostly spit on it. And then he getting himself into counts where he had to throw the fastball, and then he's just getting blown up. Or that was the experience, right? He get himself into terrible counts, so you could pick which pitches he do, and he didn't have good enough pitches to like beat you when he's in a bad situation. That was the whole experience. It wasn't very complicated, all right? And so he gets to the point last year where the results are still bad. And the story I was told was Devin Hayes at Tread is looking at his video from the Pirates bullpens, his previous couple of bullpens, and he's saying, hey, you, pardon me for swearing, you're cutting the out of the ball. In case my dad watches, I don't want to actually swear. You're cutting the out of it. And he explained it is like when you're throwing the four seamer, you want like perfect true backspin. That's like perfect spin efficiency. That's gonna give you the ride, the carry that kind of makes it seem like it's rising. That's a Justin Verlander type of high spin. And with him, he's cutting it so it's a natural cut movement, and so it's not actually doing a lot of movement, but it's basically just ruining the spin efficiency on a four seam. And so you either try to fix that, which they probably would have done with him in the past, or you lean into it and say, look, you're getting some natural cut the way it's coming off your hand. Let's spin the grip and let's throw a two seam. And so that was what Devin said. He sent a 3-minute video to Mitch saying, look, I don't know what the Pirates are going to say. Don't know what you think about this, but I think you're a great candidate for a seam shift sinker. And so Mitch was in, but according to Devin, like Oscar had sort of the same idea at the same time, and they were all in. Didn't really. Ultimately, doesn't matter who came up.
Everyone's playing nice, basically.
Yeah. Basically, they're like, yeah, we all agreed. Great idea. Like, I mean, it was great. You need to change something, and so they changed that. The first time he throws it is against Wilson Contreras. He hits him inside, but Mitch is like, no, it was nasty. Like I could tell there was something good just playing catch with it, throwing it in the bullpen. And the part that made me laugh was Mitch was like, I was like, have you ever thrown a sinker before? And he's like, actually, when I was like 10, I just had this like superstitious habit, like this little tick where I thought like the way to throw strikes was to go a four seam grip. The next pitch, you have to flip it to the two seam grip. And you throw, he's like, it didn't sink at all, but like I knew somehow I was like, that's like my trick for how I'm a good pitcher. And so he was accidentally throwing sinkers as a 10-year-old, but had never tried it really in the pros, which seems crazy because we all watched 3 years of Mitch having his fastball just get destroyed. Like how is that not? I don't know how that was never seriously considered.
Like how has no one been like, hey, let's try this?
Enough people on the internet said it that you think at some point like somebody would pass it along to him, but he tries that, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, you can no longer just sit on that fastball, and if he can throw it for strikes, perfect. If he couldn't, that would be a problem again. But then you build off of it, right? Okay, then you have a four seam where you can play with the top of the zone. You've got a sinker you can work with that can maybe get you some quicker outs, and then they add the sweeper a little bit later, just like a couple, maybe 2 weeks later or so. And then suddenly, like, Mitch Keller's a dude, you're talking about having 5-6 pitches, which, again, the bottom line is you need to have the command, and he hasn't in the past, and he has, certainly in this last 31 starts. But if you have some decent command and you have all those pitches, like, that's a recipe that can work. As like ridiculous as it seems that you could like make those couple of switches and go from a 6 ERA to a 2. I guess that's just life as a major league pitcher, right?
I mean, no, but it is.
It can be.
You all, thank you for watching. I know we try to provide the most entertaining content that we can, and we'd love to spread it to as many people as possible. So I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you could take the 5 seconds to like this video and subscribe to the page, it helps out so much more than you know. Thank you, and let's go Bucks.